Hello and welcome Helldivers to another Helldivers 2 news and leaks video. And today Automatons are striking back. We obviously celebrated way too early. A rough estimate of when the Illuminator going to come. A mysterious ship module which was in the game then removed way too quickly. There will be an update of how medals are provided to us. The patch I told you about last time is finally here. And finally a leak of a new pistol and of the SEAF troops stratagem. But before we get into that, if you enjoy Helldivers 2 and you want to stay up to date on everything in and out of the game, make sure you hit the like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's go! Hey yo, I told you this was gonna happen! So, the Automatons are back. Not only are they back, but they're stronger than ever. They came in with so much more forces than we ever anticipated. Once you log into the game, you will see our newest major order, which is basically to fight off the Automaton forces on at least 5 different planets. A really nice detail is that after you open your galactic map for the first time, you will see a cool little animation of the Automaton ships actually coming out of FTL into our galaxy. And I gotta be honest, this just looks so cool. It makes you feel like you're actually in a Space Marine movie. Currently these darn clankers are in the Valdez sector, which we cannot attack yet because we need to open up paths to it. And we can do that by defending the planets Menken, Lesath, Chort Bay, Penta and Chu. The robots have started their reclamation and currently you can see Cyberstan on the map, but it's still not accessible, which means after we get these planets, we'll be able to reclaim Cyberstan for Super Earth. The cool part about this is that it just proves all of the leaks that I've been showing in my past videos to be pretty much true. You can even get to see that Coretta Kelly broadcast right on your ship if you're lucky.
With the ultimate objective of retaking Cyberstan, the apparent base of automaton operations.
We also managed to beat our last major order in like a day. I had zero time to report on it. It was basically to take over 3 bug planets in order to start generating more oil for our ships. And the community just breezed through this, which makes me think, is Joel making things way too easy just to finally drop the hammer on us? Because it feels like boss music is playing. And you know what, before the reclamation started, we just celebrated way too early. A video went up on the official Helldivers 2 Twitter account, which basically shows us the celebration on Super Earth, and it tells us that we get 1 extra minute of break. The minute is inclusive of the time taken to actually read the message, which I gotta admit was very funny. We even got this nice little poster to show us that the mission was accomplished and the bots were no more. But hey, I guess you can't win them all, huh? In one of my previous videos I actually showed you the most likely turn of events that's going to happen, and at least at the moment we're following it exactly. You can go to it and check it if you don't care about spoilers. I will give it one of those stamps that show up on the top right corner of the video. But basically, going off of what's already happening in the game, the Illuminate are most likely to come within the next 2-3 weeks tops. I am incredibly excited for this and I just cannot wait to see what's going to happen. Now also something really interesting which happened yesterday that I didn't get to cover because, well, yesterday I didn't drop a video, is that a new ship module mysteriously came into existence and now today mysteriously it disappeared as well. It was called Catalog Expansion and it was in the bridge section of the ship upgrades. It was the 4th in the column, so that kind of indicates that we'll finally be able to spend some of those super samples that you might have stacked up already. Its upgrade effect was just power steering, basically saying it would improve the steering of Helldivers during Hellpod deployment. But its description was actually much more interesting. It said new stratagem permits added to the ship's management terminal for purchase. We even had a post about it from the community manager saying the Ministry of Truth has confirmed that the rogue item called Catalog Expansion is temporarily visible in the ship's management menu, and in accordance with regulation, we instruct all Helldivers to avoid this rogue item until further notice. The Ministry of Truth cannot confirm the reliability or safety of this item, nor can they confirm its origin. Now, what is this ship upgrade actually going to be? Well, you might remember I posted a video about some laser/plasma cannons that would appear on our ship. It was provided by our good friend Iron Sights, and now we can finally see what it was all about. So most likely this is what the Catalog Expansion will do. It will give us more guns for our ships, and, well, we'll be able to shoot down the bots with lasers. Or more lasers. You know, for democracy. Then again in the Discord we had a very cool announcement from one of the devs, Twinbeard, and he told us that medals from the last 3 major orders have now been shipped. The last remaining batch will roll out in 15 hours, if Hammer Time does its thing. If not, 11 AM Central Eastern Time, April the 10th. The cool part about this post is that we will also do an overhaul in the future of the system handling these requests, as it's frankly about as reliable as a solar-powered watch on Malevelon Creek. So basically, they obviously know that there is an issue with receiving medals in the game, and they are obviously working on it. But getting the confirmation is actually pretty nice. So maybe soon we'll start receiving Warbound medals right after a major order is completed, and I gotta be honest, that will be really good for the health of the game. And I don't know if you've watched my last video, but the patch I told you about is here. So gameplay, they have updated the stats UI for weapons to take into account any explosive damage done by them. This is to give weapons that do damage with explosive projectiles a more fair representation in the UI. Most notably affected is the Plas 1 Scorcher, which, as you might know, is one of the best guns in the game. We also have fixes. Fixed some crashes that occurred when deploying to a mission. Fixed some crashes that occurred during extraction and right after it, and those were the ones I used to get the most. So that's really good news. Fixed crashes that could occur if the squad deployed with a large amount of support weapons. This was actually fairly easy to replicate with the EAT rocket launchers. Fixed various crashes that could occur during gameplay. Fixed a crash that could occur when using heat-based weapons. Fixed crashes which could occur if a player died while using the jetpack, then a crash which could occur when a large volume of enemies were present, one which could occur when the player picked up a snowball. Oh my god, I cannot believe they finally fixed that one. One which could occur when completing an objective. Oh my god, if that happened to you, I pity you so hard. One hang which could occur when navigating the social menu, and picking up medals and super credits will no longer lock the player in place. Oh my god, finally, that's also fixed. There's also various known issues that Arrowhead Studios are working to fix right now. And I went in the game, you know, just to record some new gameplay from the new planets, and bro, Arrowhead be dropping stuff and they are not telling us in the patch notes. This is insane. So a couple of videos back, I actually showed you some videos of a toxic planet that hadn't been released yet. And guess what? One of the new planets is actually this exact toxic planet. It's the planet Short Bay, and the visual is actually kind of cool. It looks like one of those typical desert planets, but it has this green tint to it, and of course the acid rain. As for the effect, honestly, it's not that bad, so don't worry about it. Short Bay is a playable planet. But the thing that really surprised me that was not in the patch notes, and I have no idea why, there's a new mission type which is called Evacuate High Value Assets. It's basically like an eradicate mission, but instead of you trying to just kill as many things as you can, in this mission variant you need to hold down your fort. So you would turn on a terminal and that initiates the launch of 8 rockets. They launch pretty much on a set timer, so you need to hold down your positions. It's kind of like a King of the Hill. It's kind of reminiscent of one of those older school shooters which were popular about 10-12 years ago. You know, kind of like Gears of War, because I remember it distinctly having this King of the Hill mode. In this variant, you actually are able to close down some doors and create an encampment, and it already comes pre-baked with some mines and some HMG emplacements, which was really surprising. But trust me, those are not enough, so I would definitely advise you on taking as many mortars as you can with your team. I haven't tried it enough times, but on Helldive, it was pretty much hell. We got overrun incredibly quickly, but it was a random team, so I believe that in a team of 4 pre-mades where you actually have some communication going on and some strategy, the mission won't be that bad. But if you're in a random team, at least for the next couple of days, these missions will be very difficult. Don't even think about it, get inside the game and start liberating. And before we move on to the leaks, I just wanted to share this with you guys because it was so funny. Somebody on Steam decided to name themselves Skipper, and their teammates are Kowalski, Rico, and the Private. If you don't know, nah, you probably know. Those are the penguins from Madagascar. I gotta admit, this is one of the funniest things I've seen. And now it's time to move on to the leaks. So if you don't want anything spoiled, now is the time for you to switch. But before you do that, make sure you hit the like and subscribe to my channel for even more Helldivers 2 content. Now, let's get in those new things. Firstly, we have these renders of a new sidearm pistol, which actually looks very good. It kind of reminds me of a Deagle, but maybe it's because of the perspective, it looks pretty freaking big. Most sidearms at the moment are not that powerful, so I really hope Arrowhead give us a really good pistol that we can take into missions and it would actually be reliable. because at the moment the Magnum is one of my favorite things to play, but it just reloads so dang slowly. And to finish this video off, we have some footage of the stratagem Super Earth Armed Forces troops. Similar to what happens with the exosuit, they get dropped off by a pelican, and that's already kind of useful because the pelican does end up shooting at your enemies. It's 5 troops in total, 4 rocking assault rifles, and one of them is actually with a machine gun. And of course, if you actually take a closer look at the video, you will see that they are far from finished. The animations are not baked in, they are not even touching the ground, so they're kind of like floating there, and their AI is still pretty horrendous. But at least it's cool to have a visual representation of what this stratagem would look like. Will it be useful? I am not that sure. I think it kind of will be, because at the end of the day, at the very least, you get the Pelican, you get a free machine gun out of it, and they do soak in some damage and they kill some enemies. They seem like they'll be able to take out at least like one wave. And we have some extra footage of the recon vehicle, but I've shown this thing to you so many times already that I'm not gonna dwell on it. It's just cool that a charger does pretty much nothing to it, and it has a heavy machine gun on the top, so yeah, that's kind of awesome. But that was about it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe to my channel for even more Helldivers 2 content. And I'll see you in the next one.